Hey guys, welcome to Operation Crypto. Update today on Bitcoin. We'll take a look at the charts and see what's been going on. We pretty much know it's been going sideways, but I think personally we're coming up to a bit of a key point. It is slowly progressing towards that year point since the all-time highs, and we'll take a look at this chart here. So looking at the Bitcoin USD chart, and this is the Bitstamp chart, so this has got data all the way back to the beginning, pretty much since 2011. We've got data back there for Bitcoin. I just want to zoom into a few things and highlight. I'm not saying this is going to happen, this is just something to keep your eyes on. So let's have a look. Back in 2013, we had a Bitcoin major pump, went all the way from down $10 all the way up to $1,100, and we had a pullback. All-time high was there, 1st of December, 2013, that month, and then later on in towards December of 2014, a year later, the price did decline after a little bit of that, but within that year period, the price really started to bottom out and then climb up. If you're looking then going ahead into 2017, again that Bitcoin major rally, but went all the way up to $20,000, up around there, and then had a pullback. If you're looking at this week here, that is a year after all-time highs. The Bitcoin price kind of hit that bottom, and then we started to churn back up and then went on to that monumental move. All-time highs 2021 was up at around $69,000, and that was on, let's say for example 1st of December, I think it was about the 7th, but we're looking at monthly candles. We're coming up to that point now towards the beginning of November. I know there's a lot of things going against Bitcoin. We have a massive world economy that is on its knees, collapsing everywhere. We've seen strength in dollar, but it is devaluing currencies across the world. That means the dollar is very strong, but the stock market is collapsing too. That's starting to drop down. The state of the world, we've got war going on with Ukraine and Russia, which then could lead to who knows what. There's a lot of things going on in the world that's currently not going in anyone's favour economically. And the traditional finance systems that we see today are starting to fail, in my opinion. And Bitcoin is that hedge against them, in my opinion. I'm not saying that's not going to go down in buy now because it's going to just completely go against the flow, but I think it will do in the long term. Maybe not now is the time. We are still fairly new. What is it, 11, 12 years old Bitcoin? And cryptocurrency is in its infancy. Some cryptocurrencies are coming out on a daily basis, which could change the world, but like I say, infancy is a time now. So we are coming up to that point now where the price could react and we could get towards that yearly point, which I've got mentioned here. Who knows? It would be nice if we saw some reactions. I mean, because if you're looking on the broader perspective of things, Bitcoin since all-time highs has actually broken out of that major downtrend, but not in a very nice fashion. I mean, we've broken out of it just by going sideways. And if we look at, is it this chart here? I don't try this one here. So look, I mean, I can extend this an extra day. We have now had 125 days worth of sideways price action on Bitcoin, which is mundane and boring, but it is what it is. If you're in cryptocurrency, you probably could see this as a little bit of a respite, especially if you're a content creator. You're trading 24/7, you don't sleep. And these are the periods now where the foundations for the next bull run are made. I'm personally continuing to grow the channel. I'm continuing to invest in assets that I like, and hopefully if you're still in here, if you're just a general investor, you're building foundations by educating yourself and teaching yourself about cryptocurrencies and finding new projects, because in my opinion, like I personally see myself as a low cap project investor, and that's what I look for on a daily basis. Low cap projects where I can allocate a small portion of my portfolio in stables towards that project in order hopefully to make some big X's in the future. And if you're into that, good luck. If you're into trading the asset, then you will be trading within this range bound price action. But what could go on next for Bitcoin? Multiple things. We could continue with sideways price action, and that's 125 days. What happens if we go to 250 days and we double that period there? That leads us in towards February. Will be very boring, but it is what it is. You can see we've got a range here, haven't we? We've got the high range up at 25,000. We've got a low range down here at 17,000. There's a good chance that we come up here, reject, push back down, and keep doing this for a certain amount of time. So if you're a trader, this could be traded as heavy, and you could be trading between those three levels, that level and that level. and you could be scalping up, down, long swings, whatever you want. There's plenty of options to do there. I still think personally that the economy has been pretty much hammered, hasn't it? CPI numbers have been increasing for the last 6 months. What's to say we don't get a bear market rally? What's to say that CPI numbers actually start to deflate a little bit? Because we've had a constant rise, haven't we? We've been up to, 8.2% in the US, which isn't crazy. That CPI, that consumer price index, is high. There's always that possibility that things can turn around for a short period of time. What, for example, if next month CPI numbers are better than predicted and we come below 8%? That will be good for everything. It will. You'll see stock markets starting to rise. You'll see Bitcoin following that pattern and start pushing up, and something like that could instigate a major pump within Bitcoin, in my opinion. I think still that we have that possibility of breaking out and pushing up towards this 28, 38k region. This is where the price was pretty much glued. It was trading here from May all the way until June, and then Tesla dumped their Bitcoin holdings and brought the price down quite significantly, didn't they? I mean, look at that. I think they dropped 75% of their holdings from that point there to that point there. We saw a 44% decline in Bitcoin, which was crazy. And that shows that people with mass, or companies with mass amounts of Bitcoin, can really affect the market. But we have had people continuing to accumulate. If you look at the Bitcoin holders address for top 100, some of those addresses have still been accumulating on a daily basis. So that shows that the vast majority of the large holders are accumulating. Some major companies are pulling us down, but for me, I still think it is a good buying opportunity. We've got a lot of people talking about 10k, and that reason is because Bitcoin in previous cycles has dropped to 85%. If you drop 85% from the current all-time highs, it would take us to around that 10-12k region, and there is support down there. It's a psychological number which people have been talking about. But the psychological numbers that people talk about and seem to think are going to happen never usually tend to happen. I mean, when Bitcoin was, I think it was last year, no, year before that, when we had that COVID dump and it went down to 3, everybody said we're going to get down to 3-digit Bitcoin. It didn't happen. It bounced quite significantly off that 3k range, and then it went on and we went up to 69k. I think people can get a little bit too greedy at the bottom, is the same as they would do at the top, personally. I mean, I think it is fair value now. We've done a 77% drop on Bitcoin. Some altcoins, if you're looking at some altcoins, which I personally prefer, we've seen anywhere from 70 to 98% drops. If you look at RSR, personally, it is one of my favourite assets, which it kind of tackles the state of the world we have now, hyperinflation. RSR is to give that stability, that asset that is stable, to countries which are really failing, and that asset was 97% down. Crazy to think, it's one of my favourite assets. And some other assets like Metis has dropped, VeChain, I'm just looking down and right, RSR, Polkadot, another one. That should have been an asset that is pretty much going for that top 3 spot. The ecosystem kind of pulled it down. We had those power chain auctions, and yeah, things got a little bit messy, didn't they? But I think now is a good time to buy. You can go against that and say, Andy, the price is going to continue to drop, which I can't disagree against. I really think that is a potential that could happen with potential recession, potential world wars come into play. But at some stage in your head, you have to think, now I think it's fair value. And for me personally, I think we're at that range where I think, look, price has come down significantly. I'm going to start allocating stable coins to some assets that I prefer. Not going over the top, but I'm starting to buy. As an investor, you can't be in the green all the time. If you are, then you fucking know, God's gift. But you've got to go underwater at some time. I think now is a good time to buy. Whether it goes down to 10k, I don't really care. If it goes down, maybe I'll allocate more capital. But for me now, I think it's a good time to buy. Bitcoin, I'm hoping for a move up to 28k. If we did drop below these levels, then you're looking, like I say, 12k is a nice support region down there. And we've got support down here at around 16k, which has that potential to happen next year. But I still think we've got a bull market rally, and I'm hoping for a nice push up towards this region here. What happens there, I don't care, because I'll be taking a lot of profit around that region. If it's at 28, 30k, 32k, might even test the bottom of these wicks at around 33. it is a possible that could happen. We do see bear market rallies, and with that, you will see some altcoins really start to make some progressive moves and again take a profit on that. So some thoughts about pretty much everything there. Probably a little bit early to be waffling on about stuff like that on a Monday morning, but that's it for today. That's some thoughts. I'll be covering some altcoins throughout this week. If you want me to cover any altcoins, jump on my Twitter, in my DMs, or comment on this video below. If you are new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.